Yeah, what up, aliens? Joey G. Out for that late night walk. You know what it be. Getting all the day's thoughts on my system. Working that food through the system. I ain't the cold dude we do in the system. Yeah, what up, everyone? Yeah. Just want to check in, see if I catch some people out here on the live. Want to see who touched down with what today. If y'all checked out the work today, it's kind of dope work. Emotional type. Excuse me for a second. Sorry, I just had to get rid of some of this New England weather. Yo, so it was emotional today. Just talking about the pops, it's a good time for me to talk about it now that I'm out on a walk. It's coming up on my father. I lost my father in 2007 when I was locked up, and I touched bases with that a little bit today. It was a kind of messed up journey, Somebody asked me to stop making some of these raps a little bit more personalized and, really, really bang them out there, So that's what I was trying to do. So man, freaking caught drift of, I don't know, man. It's like, I don't know if I'm catching drifts of things or if I'm just overlooking things, and I absolutely could be. It's just either way though. Either way, it's this. It's either way. I'm blessed because it's like I'm feeding off of an energy of hip hop that I do understand everything, and I don't sit in judgment of anything. I don't sit in judgment of people that have to join a gang or anything like that. I do understand situations absolutely 100%. I understand drug abuse. I understand drug addiction. I've been in and out of that game on both sides of the fence as a counselor, as a client. So is now freaking sorry, a little bit lost. I just walked by the store. So I just popped out the store. Brain's always alert, you know what I mean? So we're coming up March 12th, my dad's birthday. He was a gentleman that used to bring me out camping as a kid. He's the one we used to have pig roasts with. We'd spend like literally months out of a summer out in this town next to our city called Freetown. And we'd go what we call it out back. We'd go out back, and it was called Hog Lane. We'd go down Hog Lane. Well, Hog Lane was maybe about a quarter mile or so of a dirt road with cords of lumber literally on both sides. That's why you hear a lot of fashion stacking cords, stacking calendars, stacking these bars like cords or calendars, make catalogs. So Fash would drive down that road, bending down that road many times, wobbly, you know what I mean? So Fash don't sit in any kind of judgment, been in and out of the game. So this gentleman used to take us out back there, and we could hunt, we'd camp, like I mentioned in the last one, we used to go deer hunting every single, every single deer hunting. We'd be out there like the whole 2 weeks or the 2 weeks prior, tracking, and then, you know what I mean? But really, it was me and my father, and we'd go out there. There was a couple times, you know what I mean? One time we went out there in a 2-man tent in the middle of Dartmouth, Massachusetts, and woke up to 2 feet of snow inside the tent because we didn't realize it. A stick had come down and tore open our tent in the middle of the night, and it snowed inside of our tent. So I was very close to this gentleman. I was close with my own dad as well. Me and him had our own special relationship. We had our touch and go relationship. Our relationship was based more on work. My biological dad and myself was based more on a company that we had shared together. And that's the company there that led to the car accident, company Christmas party accident, whatnot. And I talked about that today in sentencing alone. I know you got 15% battery, but just in sentencing alone, I was touching bases even with that because, it's like we promote so much stuff that leads to these institutions, man. Whether it be drug abuse or, holding sticks for the wrong reason and stuff. Absolutely, I believe in the Second Amendment. Just use it for the right thing. Use it for defense, man. There's no need to be on the offense. You're on the offense, then, you know what I mean? Maybe you ought to think about that. But is that, again, I don't judge nobody either. You might have your reasons. But so we judge all these places that lead to places like, these institutions and whatnot. Fash ended up out of nowhere from a Marine, like, if I can't feel that Tupac line, I never thought I'd be to jail before in elementary. Like, no, I never seen that coming, bro. A year and a half after being an honorable Marine, I was being sent up to state for 7 to 10, and the weight that had on my family was devastating. Like just recently, I'm so glad that we get to talk about this outside the house actually, because just recently, like I was talking with my mother about it, and the effects, because I know it weighs in on my guilt, and it always has ever since it happened. Mind you, like I said, my father passed in 2007. It gets easier, but it never goes away, and the pain's just as strong all the time when it hits you. And it's this, I lived with a certain guilt for two reasons. Was the accident put me on the Oxycontin and stuff like that, which made me cause a habit. And Dad was a smoker and he partied with me, so eventually that led to that as well. You know what I mean? Dad was no angel, but still having it around all the time didn't help. But it was this, the actual, just the stress and sentencing alone on your family. So it was just recently that me and my mother had a conversation about 3-4 days ago. I told you my family's been going through some hard times. We just recently all moved together because like literally there's like 3 of us left, bro. Excuse me, is out here in the cold of KC. So anyways, where was I? Excuse me. Yes. So just recently, we had a conversation. I was up in my mom's room. I like doing that, spending some time with her. And I always do that. I recommend that. Spend some time with your elders because you don't know how much time you get with them. Fash lost his grandmother at the beginning of COVID. Couldn't even visit her in the hospital or the nursing home when it happened, because the COVID stuff just popped up and all that nonsense. Wicked nonsense, bro. She was a big factor in my life. She helped raise me in my first 11 years before I met this gentleman here. Before Fash met this gentleman here, and this is some stuff I haven't really touched in my rap yet, is because it's a bunch of Me Too stuff. It's all stuff that M's already said. Other rappers have already said it. Stuff like, being bullied in junior high and stuff like that. Fash was like the number one person to pick on in junior high. Until I met this gentleman at 11 years old that taught me it was all right to put up my hands. He taught me a different way to be a man. You know what I mean? That's my Savage root. His last name was Savage. He was a biker at arms. At a young age, 15 years old, for a local chapter, local bike chapter. I don't even know if they're still around, but it was Sidewinders, a very popular chapter back then. And older gentlemen looked up to him because he was a presence. So, just recently I'm sitting in my mom's room, and the guilt has always weighed on me, and the thought exists, and is, I always thought my dad passed about 3 years into my sentence, and he literally went from having 10 kids to having 0 around him due to, lost a couple of us, some of us caught an addiction, other of us moved away, or picked different lifestyles and stuff like that to be not next to him or whatever. He was down to like just me and my brother, and my brother even ended up going away, so he was down to 0 by that time. And this is when it hit me. This was when the epiphany ain't no damn epiphany, ain't nothing glamorous about this. This is, I believe, because I remember the last time my father came to see me up in the joint on the VI on a visit, is he looked so skinny, he looked so stressed out, and I think that I felt it was that. I felt like I was stressing him out. He had lost a son earlier on in life that was the same age as Fash, my brother Paulie, and Paulie got ran over by a car accidentally. He was playing with some older kids and trying to be the brave bunch. He tried to run out on the street to recollect some stuff that they were being young reckless boys, whatever. But he ran out on the street to go gather some stuff, and when he did, he got hit by a car and on Route 18 in New Bedford. And he lost his son Paulie at 8 years old. When my accident happened, crazy enough, this is a true story. My mother's like the last one live to testify to this stuff. It's crazy. Is that I was put, so the trauma room that they treated me in to remove the rod, after they removed the rod, I flatlined twice and they removed the rod. After they removed the rod, is that they put me in the ICU room that my brother was in, that my brother Paulie was in, and this is right before Christmas, and my father's literally sitting in the same waiting chairs that he was waiting for his son Paulie to die. He was waiting in, and then got the news his son Paulie died, so he's waiting in those same chairs, waiting to see if I was going to come out of this coma. I stressed this man out so much, and I hate myself for that, really, truly. For everything that he gave me, he gave my family. Sometimes I look around at my family, and sometimes my family would just be different if it was here. You know what I mean? People, it's so funny. People hold different respects and different regards until people go away. Even go away to prison. I mean, you hear a lot about that in fashion stuff. Fashion got to go open the store. You come with me. Is this? Is that? Yeah. So it's stress of these institutions and stuff like that. Left behind on the family. Come up in here. Go grab some Ben and Jerry's real quick. You heard? Go grab some. We're gonna stay away from the Red Bull. Fashion's already too hype up here. Yeah, like this is our little food sections here in glorious New Beige. This what it look like around y'all's places too. What am I looking for? Ice cream. $2.50. Yeah, just got Chinese food, $60. Unbelievable. I couldn't even believe it. It was a $3 delivery fee. And then you got to tip the guy $3. So you pay $6 to even get it. Bananas. What am I looking for? I can't find it. We'll be timing together. Let me focus here for a second. Focus. I don't see no ice cream section right here. It was so hot. It was so hot. We ain't even got. Oh look. That's our eatery section, yeah. Ben & Jerry's. What we got here? Small selection. Shouldn't even be doing no promotion for these people, right? What the heck we gonna get out of it? They say buyers are gonna pay us. They say friendlies are gonna pay us. Fast Love Friendly, that Jubilee roll. That Jubilee roll, the bomb. Chocolate fudge brownies, best we can do. Smoke we got for trying to get some Screech. Hold on a second, excuse me guys. Can I have 2 packs of noodles? That's got Reese cups.
$8.20.
Did you get the 2 Eagles? Thank you, sir.
Me?
2 please.
2?
Yes.
One your girlfriend.
Yes.
25.
Thank you, sir. $25 even?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, brother. Have a good night. There we are. We got the supplies. You didn't hit half those supplies because Fast don't like to support that. You heard? It's a bad habit, so I'm trying to get rid of myself. That nicotine's the number one, boy. That still baffles me. It baffles me on how did America, boy, population control. How did America ever come to a decision, right? Somewhere in our history, we came to a decision that we were going to get rid of alcohol and keep nicotine. Mind you, we grow nicotine plants, tobacco plants. But so that might have something to do with it. But yeah. Oh, we made the other stuff here too, but I guess it's less export and importing of the alcohol. But it's funny how they kept the stuff around that was kind of bad for us. It got worse for us over the years. I think it was probably more pure tobacco back then and not all the additives that they put in it today. But we're not going to break into all that right now. I just want to touch bases, see if I can get some of y'all's opinions on some of the stuff that's going on too. Because, this is the other thing. Since I started these lives, It's crazy. Like I don't know if I said a couple of keywords they don't like or whatever. My views done dropped. All my views dropped. Yo, it went from for even the shorts. All right, so the shorts we get 3 to 5,000 on a video. You know what I mean? So and they're more successful. They put out there more by YouTube than my longer videos, which is unfortunate because they give me all these whack comments in my short videos, but they don't understand like to cram that much into 60 seconds is a talent, bro, in itself. I'm sorry, I just finally gonna say it. That is because I was thinking of some stuff today. I'm like, you know what? How many times can I rearrange 60 seconds? I heard the goat say that. The goat was, I just seen I tagged up a meme and said, love the it's like a little short of the goat saying, I shared a lifetime. How much can I keep sharing? All these. How can I don't know how he said it. Something about like keep creating stuff with the same words over and over and over, mixing it up and jumbling. And it is that. And I said, and I was like, oh my God, I can't even imagine. I couldn't even come close to imagining, like, because I feel that, and he's done it for a lifetime, so I couldn't even imagine. He's been through the encyclopedia like 3 times, for those that don't remember encyclopedias. I was gonna keep your eyes peeled there. It's actually it's so crazy. Yeah, is that side? Yes. All right. So yeah. So that depression. It's a guilt. It's I've been through. Look at that, lights at my house. That's great. What am I going back to? Yo, it's bananas. Anyways, it was almost about. It was crazy. No, it was. So I have 2 fathers. So this is the other thing. Fash. I lost 2 dads early in life. One was 48. One was 52. Unexpected. Like my dad, I was upstate for. So it was like people always wanted to hear like the stresses of that on me sometimes, and that always bothered me because I don't like talking about my pains, my sorrow, but I know there's so much other pain and sorrow in the world. So it's like, for forever, like I don't know, maybe it's a glamour of the story. To be honest with you, it's so freaking morbid how we think, bro, as human beings. But it's that social mass versus media thing. What do we pick to choose to watch and stuff like that? But it was like people would want to hear my story about being on my knees in cuffs next to my dad's casket, man. And to describe that, it brings me to that room, bro. Like it brings me to that room, and that was a bad day, man. Me and my brother, like I said, his last 2 boys was locked up, and we were in different prisons. And my COs was down to let me see the other homie, my brother, and the other COs, when they seen us approaching, took off in a scat. I don't know if they were scared or got scared or whatever, but so I didn't even get to see my brother that day. They escorted me in there. There was nobody else in the hall. Just the 2 COs. They uncuffed one of my hands, and I got to sit down literally like I was shackled by my dad's casket, chain around the waist, one hand still to the waist, shackles on the feet, on my knees, prayers, and trying to make my peace by myself without even my family. The wake and funeral and stuff like that was later on. I wasn't around to help my mother. My mother was all by herself during this. I had nobody during this point. Like most of my family scattered by this point, and there was actually like leeches that because my mom, they took advantage of pretty much because my father had a whole garage full of like motorcycles, his motorcycle parts, tools that would make tools. Like, oh my God, we still just chilling. This was our garage. This was our place to chill. So we just always invest in it. You know what I mean? And my brothers, there's been all kinds of stories of how it went down, but slowly it all got like sold out or stolen. And there was a gentleman that used to be a friend of my dad that tried to move in quick on my mom and stuff like that as a friend, and they tried to make it more than a friend. Luckily, that was about the time I was coming home from prison. By that time, she was sick of it. It built up to be something, so I actually had to go into her house one night and grab her up and be like, "All right, you're coming to live with me." I had a house in Sasquatch at the time, the north end of New Bedford. 2 years after I came home, I bought a house. That ain't that bananas. Got my shit together, got my life together. 3 years into owning that house, a pipe burst. They had us living in hotels because it was an old house. It revealed like $120,000 worth of work that they were offering like 20 grand in the insurance to pay for, so it wasn't adding up that way. So we was living out of hotels, this, that, and the other thing. Meanwhile, the bank forges a signature to a paper that releases all my property and throws everything I've owned away. So whatever was actually left over from pre-prison, and then my whole life that I gathered up until that point. So all my Marine Corps stuff, everything I collected around the world, Egypt, Japan, swords, sand, little pyramid things, you know what I mean? Like the stuff you can't get no more. Even worse than that, my dad's ashes was there. They threw away my dad's ashes. That was the first thing I went for. I ran into the house. I knew where it was. I had a place in my barrel, and the barrel was empty. I dropped to my knees. I started screaming no. I understood what they were doing because I used to have a company like that with my biological father where we used to do auctions and stuff. I told you I had a better business relationship. And so at least the lights are up further. Is that yeah, so they threw all that away, and so right now Fash is living, and fucking chilling, but hoping that better days that happen. And I lawyered up on that. That's the only thing I had to lawyer up on, so I do have a lawyer on reserve. Yeah, but anyways, I had to lawyer up on that. I had a 1% of a bank pushing us around, throwing all that stuff away, forging our name to stuff, and just acting like it was cool. I was ready to move on, like it's no big deal. You know what I mean? But that's gonna about wrap this section up. I thank everybody that checked in. Got somebody out there, but I'm gonna get in more on these lives. I just want to touch bases with some of the stuff today. See what y'all thought. Get some ideas moving forward, and we'll be pushing these lives some more. We'll hit you up tomorrow Sunday. I do a couple freestyles and jump on here a bit longer. Maybe I'll aim for like say 2 o'clock. We'll aim for like 2 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow, all right? So this way, if anybody wants to go ahead and check in, tune in live, I'll get my computer up and going so I can see the comments and stuff like that. And I'll see y'all then. All right, aliens, peace, love. Yo, I love y'all to death. Thank you so much for the support. Like, no kidding. I love y'all. Peace. Have a great day. Great night.